Hello students, a very good evening to all and welcome back to Daily Current Affairs of 29th of June. So these are the three important articles from The Hindu as well as Indian Express. The first very important article is about Supreme Court Collegium. So here we shall be discussing the basic things about the Collegium. Next important article is about Rajoli Banda diversion scheme. So here we shall be discussing which all states are involved here, what is the difference between a diversion scheme as well as dam scheme, all these things. Next article is about non-banking financial companies. So this article is from Indian Express. So let's start our discussion. So first news says Justice Narasimha to join Supreme Court Collegium as Justice Maheshwari retires. So here the context is that as we know, if we talk about the Supreme Court Collegium, so it consists of Chief Justice of India as well as four other senior most judges. So basically this collegium consists of judges, five senior most judges. So since Justice J.K. Maheshwari is retiring, so the fifth senior most judge is the Justice P.S. Narasimha and he will be joining the collegium. So quickly, let's discuss the basics about the collegium system. Because see, you don't have to much focus on the names of all the judges which are composed, which are part of the Supreme Court Collegium. You must have a very basic idea about the collegium. So first thing is, yes. The first thing about the collegium system is that this is India's judicial mechanism, right? That means the judiciary members will be involved. So this is India's judicial mechanism and its purpose is to appoint as well as transfer the judges to Supreme Court as well as High Court. So here collegium can be important part of Supreme Court also. It can be important part of High Court judges also, and it can be used for the appointing judges also. It can be used for transferring of judges also. Now next thing is very important for the exam perspective, that whether it collegium system is mentioned in the constitution or not. This is very important for the prelims, because generally UPSC confuses with these kind of statements. It will give you any word and it will say that this word is defined in the constitution or this word is mentioned in the constitution. So we must know about the collegium system, whether it is mentioned in the constitution or not. The important thing is that this is not a constitutional provision. That means collegium system is not mentioned in the constitution. Maybe the system to appoint the judges or transfer of judges can be mentioned in the constitution, but collegium system as a word is not mentioned in the constitution. So how it was evolved or how this collegium system was formed? So it was evolved through a series of landmark Supreme Court judgments, and in layman language we call them as three judges case. So please remember that collegium system is not mentioned in the constitution. This is not a constitutional provision. It has been evolved over a series of Supreme Court judgments. So now, before discussing that how collegium system has evolved in India, before that we must discuss two important articles. First article is Article 124, which refers to the appointment of Supreme Court judges in India, and second article is Article 217, which is related to the appointment of High Court judges in India. So before discussing the three landmark Supreme Court judgments, we must discuss about these articles. So see, what Article 124 says, every judge of Supreme Court shall be appointed by the President of India under this hand and seal after consultation with such judges of Supreme Court and High Court as the President finds it necessary. So please focus on this word consultation. So Article 124 says that appointment will be done by the President of India, but it must also involve the consultation of some Supreme Court as well as High Court judges. Now read Article 217. Article 217 says that appointment of High Court judges should be done by the President of India, and this must be done after consultation. Please focus on this word also. Article 217 also mentions consultation with the Chief Justice of India, Governor of the state, and other important judges as President finds it necessary. So please focus on these two articles, that is Article 217 as well as 124. Here the word consultation have been used. Understood. Now, the Supreme Court judges, the Supreme Court judgments, which we will be discussing now, in these Supreme Court judgments, this word consultation has been defined in different manners. So let's start with the evolution of Supreme Court judgment. Yes. So how this Supreme Court, how this collegium system has been evolved? It has been evolved through three judges' case. So first of all, let's focus on the first judge's case. It happened in 1981. The first judge case says that the word consultation, which is used in Article 124 as well as 1217. Just now we discussed about these two articles. The first judge case says that this word consultation does not means concurrence. So consultation means kind of advice you are taking. It depends on you. You have to accept it or not. It's not kind of binding. But concurrence means the binding advice. So first judge case says that whenever president has to consult the Supreme Court judges or High Court judges, this thing is not binding. President can do that also. President cannot do that also. So this gave the executive primacy over the judiciary and judicial appointments. Why? Because see, consultation with Supreme Court, High Court judges is not necessary. So here appointment will be done by the president. Indirectly, appointment is done by the Council of Ministers, which is headed by Prime Minister. So here basically executive primacy is there. The primacy of Council of Ministers, the primacy of Cabinet. So this was the thing with the first judge's case. Now comes the second judge's case, and it happened in 1993. So what happened in second judge's case? It said that the word consultation, which is used in Article 124 as well as 217, it actually means concurrence. Concurrence means the decision or the advice will be binding on the President of India. The Supreme Court says that Chief Justice of India's advice is binding on the President because consultation means concurrence, which was opposite to what was said in the first judge's case. So here it said that before giving the advice, Chief Justice of India must consult with two senior most colleagues or two senior most judges of Supreme Court. So you can say that from second judge's case, the actual evolution of collegium is started, because here there was no mention of any collegium that president has to consult with Chief Justice of India or some other judges. So here the thing is, in the second judge's case, here president has to consult with Chief Justice of India as well as other two senior most judges. Now let's come to the third judge's case, and it happened in 1998. Here, the concept of collegium remains same, that President of India has to consult the collegium, right? But here, the composition of collegium changed. Now, the collegium consists of Chief Justice of India and four senior most judges of the court after Chief Justice of India. So, basically, Chief Justice of India plus other four senior most judges. So, these five will be considered as the five senior most judges of Supreme Court of India. So this was the thing with the three judges case. So here, if we talk about the collegium system, so collegium system has finally given primacy to the judiciary in the appointment of judges, because the first judge's case was trying to put forward the primacy of executive. But the point was, if judges are to be appointed, then appointment must be done by the judiciary only. Ma'am, please post videos daily about current affairs. Actually, the videos are daily being posted on of current affairs. So every day the video is posted at 6 p.m. But the thing is, every day it's not live session. Today I'm taking the live session, but yes, every day you will be getting the video at 6 p.m. And yes, please note that on Saturday I'm not taking the separate class of current affairs. I'm taking the weekly current affairs class. So in that class, I am including the current affairs of Saturday also. So in that way, you will not be missing any current affairs. So please remember, every day the current affairs video will be posted at 6 p.m. And if you talk of Saturday, so every day on Saturday I will be including current affairs of all the 6 days. So I think, is it clear now? Okay, so we are done with this about the three judges case. Now, second thing is, if we talk about the collegium composition, so just now we discussed about the collegium composition of Supreme Court. It will be consisting of Chief Justice of India as well as four senior most judges. Now, second thing is, if we talk about the composition of High Court, because High Court judges also have to be appointed, right? So in High Court, the collegium will be consisting of Chief Justice of High Court as well as two senior most judges of High Court. So here we will be having Chief Justice of India as well as 4 senior most judges, and here we will be having Chief Justice of High Court as well as 2 senior most judges of High Court. Now if we talk about the procedure, so see in procedure what will happen, see this is the actual procedure. So here if we talk about the Supreme Court judges, so we have the collegium which consists of 5 members. So this collegium will recommend some 10 or 15 names to the President of India. Now see president, what President of India is doing, indirectly government is controlling, right? So this collegium will give some of the names to the president or the government. Now the government will examine that whether these persons must be recommended or not. They will examine, and if government have any issue, then governments will send the paper back that please reconsider this name or this name or this name. Now after reconsideration, if the collegium sends back the same names, then this thing will be final. Please remember that government can raise the objections, but even after that, if collegium is reiterating or mentioning the same names again, then that thing will be binding on the president as well as government of India. So here the appointment becomes binding on the president, that is the government of India. So I think now everything is clear about the collegium system. Yes. Now, next important article is about Rajoli Banda diversion scheme. So, see, this scheme is also very, very important. Not the scheme per se is much important, but the concepts which are included here. So, let's start with the discussion. Yes. So why this scheme was currently in news? This thing was in news because recently the chief ministers of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, as well as Telangana, they had a meeting with Union Jal Shakti Minister. Why these three ministers have met? Because this Rajoli Banda diversion scheme is involving these three states: Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, as well as Telangana, and these three states are facing some problems in water distribution. That's why they met Union Jal Shakti Minister. Now let's discuss line by line what are all things are important here. So first thing is, what is Rajoli Banda diversion scheme? So basically Rajoli Banda diversion scheme is an interstate irrigation project. Interstate means many states are involved. So here Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh as well as Telangana, these three states are involved. Now this diversion scheme is built on Tungabhadra river, which is located, and this diversion scheme is located near Rajoli Banda village in Raichur district of Karnataka. So basically this Rajoli Banda scheme, if we discuss the location, so here Rajoli Banda scheme will be located somewhere here near the Tri Junction. Let me change the color. Yes. So this Rajoli Banda scheme will be located somewhere here near the tri-junction of Telangana, Karnataka as well as Andhra Pradesh. So here somewhere Rajoli Banda scheme, diversion scheme will be located. So please remember Rajoli Banda village is located in Karnataka, and here we have the location of Rajoli Banda diversion scheme. Now let's focus on this word, that is the diversion or the diversion scheme. So please don't confuse the diversion scheme with dams. So see, there is a very basic difference between the diversion channels as well as the dams. Because just now we discussed that this diversion scheme is located on Tungabhadra river. So please don't consider that we are discussing about the Tungabhadra dam. Tungabhadra dam is different. Tungabhadra diversion scheme is different. So see, first of all, let's focus on the location of Tungabhadra itself. So you will have a very basic idea. Uh, yes, I think, yes, let's focus on the map. Yes, so see on the map, it is visible that somewhere here, yes, somewhere here we have Tungabhadra reservoir, because here we have Tunga river, here we have Bhadra river, it combines and it forms Tungabhadra, and so this is the location of Tungabhadra reservoir. But this is Tungabhadra reservoir or Tungabhadra dam. But this Rajoli Banda scheme, what we are talking about, it is located somewhere near the tri-junction of these three states, that is Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh as well as Telangana. So these two things are very different. How they are different? Let's discuss. So see, if we talk about the diversion scheme as well as channels, as well as dams, what is the main purpose of dams? You will restrict the flow of river, the reservoir will be filled, and whenever water is needed for electricity or for the irrigation purpose, you will release the water. This is the main purpose of dam. The Purpose of the diversion scheme is you don't have to build the dam separately, just you have to divert the flow of water. That's it. So I think you have the idea of Farakka Barrage in India. What is the main purpose of Farakka Barrage? Its main purpose was to divert the flow of river so that the port of Kolkata in India can be sediments free, right? So the main purpose of barrage was to divert the flow of river. So for the diversion, you will be building a number of barrages. Understood? The main purpose of the dam is to completely fill the reservoir with water, and then we will be using the water for many purposes. The main purpose of diversion scheme is just to divert the flow of river. For example, we can consider about the traffic on the road. So instead of completely stopping the traffic, what we are doing, we are creating small service roads so that these traffics can easily go through the service roads and complete congestion is not created. So similar thing is happening in this diversion scheme also. You are not building, so see, here we are talking about 3 states. So 3 states are not building 3 separate dams. What they are doing, the water which is coming from the Tungabhadra reservoir, they will be just diverting the flow of water for their different purposes. So here, what is the main objective of this diversion scheme? Its objective is just to divert the flow of water into canals for irrigating or for irrigating purposes for the drought prone areas. So now I think it is clear that what is diversion scheme? Its main purpose is to build the barrages and to divert the flow of river. What is the purpose of dam? To fill the reservoir and to use the water for different kind of purposes. So please remember, Tungabhadra reservoir is not equal to Tungabhadra diversion scheme. Tungabhadra reservoir is located somewhere here. Let me change the color. Yes, Tungabhadra reservoir is located somewhere here, and Rajoli Banda scheme is located somewhere here at the tri junction of 3 states. Not here. This is the tri junction. Yes. Now, since we are discussing about the scheme which is located on Tungabhadra river, so let's go through the Tungabhadra reservoir also. So first thing is that Tungabhadra is a major perennial just a second. Yes. So first important thing about Tungabhadra river is that this is a major perennial right bank tributary of Krishna river. Perennial means never the water will be stopped in Tungabhadra river. Every time water will be present. This is the meaning of perennial. Right bank tributary means this is Krishna river. So it will be joining from the right side. This is the right bank tributary of Krishna river. Please remember this. Second thing is this river is formed by joining 2 rivers. What are those 2 rivers? First is Tunga and second is Bhadra. So Tunga and Bhadra, both these rivers will be originated from Western Ghats. They will combine and Tungabhadra river will be formed. So first of all, let's focus on the map itself. So see, somewhere here we have the Western Ghats, right? So from Western Ghats, Tunga river will rise, and from Western Ghats only Bhadra river will rise. They will join somewhere at some point, and they will be forming Tungabhadra river. And after that, this Tungabhadra river will be joining this bigger river, that is the Krishna river. So at least please focus on the location. Yes. Now let's focus on other points. So next thing is that, yes, so as I've said that Tunga and Bhadra river will be joining and they will be forming the Tungabhadra reservoir. So where these 2 streams will be joining? So these 2 streams will be joining at a place that is known as Kulli. So these places are important because why this place is important? Because here Tunga and Bhadra rivers are joining and they are forming Tungabhadra. So they are joining at Kulli. This is a village near Shivmoga city in Karnataka. So please remember. So Tunga and Bhadra river are joining at Kulli. Now, at what place Tungabhadra river is joining Krishna river. So it is joining Krishna river at Sangamaleshwaram in Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh. So Tunga and Bhadra are joining in Karnataka, and Krishna and Tungabhadra river is joining Krishna river in Andhra Pradesh. Now the places is also important. At what places these rivers are joining? So here we have Kulli and here we have Sangamaleshwaram. Yes. Next thing is if we talk about the cultural aspects. So the river hosts centuries old stone anicuts. Anicuts means the diversion channels and irrigation channels which were built by the Vijayanagara Empire. So please remember this construction around the Tungabhadra river is mainly related to Vijayanagara Empire, and especially the capital of the Vijayanagara Empire, that is Hampi. It lies on the banks of Tungabhadra river. Please remember because these aspects can be asked in exam. See, if I will show you one PYQ. Yes, this is PYQ of 2023. So this PYQ says that who among the following rulers of Vijayanagara Empire constructed a dam across Tungabhadra river and a canal cum aqueduct several kilometers long from the river to the capital city? So basically UPSC is focusing on all these aspects, right? Though in question only it has given that Vijayanagara Empire was located across Tungabhadra river and question was asked about some ruler. But what I am trying to say is these aspects can be asked in exam. So at least have a basic idea. When you read about any river, please focus on the important cities also, that what important cities are located around that river. Yes. Now, next thing is, just now in the context we discussed that chief ministers of 3 states had a meeting with Union Jal Shakti Minister. So what are the major problems which these states are facing? First problem is about the upstream water utilization. See, if we focus on the map, so in map, somewhere here we have Tungabhadra Reservoir, right? This Tungabhadra Reservoir is located in Karnataka. And the water which is coming from this reservoir is being diverted to other 2 states, all the 3 states like Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. Now the problem is if Karnataka blocks the flow of river or if Karnataka blocks the water, Karnataka is located in the upstream region. So the states which are present in the downstream region, less water will be going to those states. So this is one problem. Second is the siltation. Siltation means, for example, this is a dam. If this dam has to include a lot of water, then it must be free of siltation. That means rock, soil particles. This dam must be free of all these things. Because if siltation is there, then it will reduce the water holding capacity of dams. So one second thing is about the siltation also. The government must focus on all these aspects. And third thing is about the canal maintenance. Because Tungabhadra Reservoir is very old canal. So when the canal becomes old, you have to focus whether any leakages are not there or whether high evaporation is not there. All these things you have to focus, and these are the main things which will be discussed by the chief minister of these states. Yes. Next very important article is about non-banking financial companies in India. So in this article, we will be discussing 2 things: basics of non-banking financial companies, and then about this important company, that is Tata Sons. Because this kind of topics you can easily use as an example whenever any mains question is asked on NBFCs. So you can use these kind of topics as an example. So here we shall be discussing about Tata Sons also, why this company was in news. So here, first thing is what the news is saying. The context is the Reserve Bank of India have revised the rules for identifying upper layer non-banking financial companies in India. So here, first thing you must know that what are the levels of NBFCs in India. So basically, RBI have divided NBFCs in 4 kind of layers. So if the layer is increasing, if you are moving up in the ladder, then that means the control from the RBI is also increasing. So this is the first thing what we have to discuss. Second thing is the changes have reopened the debate on whether Tata Sons will have to launch an initial public offering or not. So second thing we shall be discussing that on what level of ladder you must be there, you must be present. So you have to release the initial public offering. These 2 things we have to discuss. Now, first of all, let's have a very basic idea about NBFCs in India. Because see, if we talk about the NBFCs and banks, So these two are the very different entities in India, right? You cannot equate NBFCs and banks. We will be discussing the differences also, but for now, please have a basic understanding that, see, banks also gives loans, advancements, banks also provide money for the investments, banks is doing all these things. NBFCs is also providing loans, advancements, it is also investing. NBFCs is also doing these things. But the important advantage with NBFCs is, if you want to get loan from any bank, you must follow different kind of criteria. You must follow different kind of provisions, right? It is not very easy to get money from the banks. For example, there is company A, and this company A is having very poor credit score. So if any company have very poor credit score, banks will not be giving loans to that company, because poor credit score means the banks will not be getting back their money. The company A will not be repaying the money back. So in that case, A will be going to NBFCs. So this is the point with NBFCs, that getting the loans and advances is very easy in NBFCs because the regulations are not very tight. Second thing is, getting loans is very faster in NBFCs, because in banks you have to do a lot of documentation, you have to fulfill a lot of formalities, but these things are not there in NBFCs. Third thing is, NBFCs is serving the underserved portions of the country. Underserved means, for example, MSMEs, or for example, startups. They don't have much time to follow all the regulations, or to follow all the formalities. That's why these kind of sections in India depend on NBFCs. That's why RBI have made four kind of layers for the regulations of NBFCs in India, because NBFC is playing a huge role in Indian economy. That's why it is very important to regulate NBFCs in India. Now, let's start with the basics of NBFCs. So if we talk about NBFC, so NBFCs, that is non-banking financial company. So it is a company. Since it is a company, obviously it will be registered under Companies Act 2013. So what will be the functions of NBFCs, and what all businesses it will be involved? Like loans and advances, right? It can also acquire shares of any other company, shares, stocks, bonds, debentures, etc. So this is the basic purpose of NBFCs in India. Second thing is the authority who regulates NBFCs in India. So if I give you the statement that all the NBFCs in India are regulated by the Reserve Bank of India, so will it be correct or incorrect? So see, if this statement can be incorrect, because mainly the NBFCs are regulated by Reserve Bank of India, but there are some NBFCs. For example, if we talk about ADI, so ADI, for example, if we have other insurance companies, so insurance companies will be regulated by Insurance and Development Authority of Insurance and Regulatory Development Authority of India. So this statement will be wrong. All the NBFCs are not regulated by RBI, but most of the NBFCs will be regulated by RBI. Yes. Now, next thing, just now we discussed about the basic functioning of banks as well as NBFCs. So let's focus on the differences which can be asked in prelims. So first thing is, NBFCs cannot accept demand deposits. That means if demand deposits which we are making for short period of time, on demand they will be repaid back. So NBFCs cannot do that, because they involve the investment of huge amount of money for larger period of time. Second thing is, NBFCs do not form the part of payment and settlement system. Consider this way: NBFCs don't have the facility of savings account, or NBFCs cannot pay you back through the checks. All these things are not part of NBFCs. That means they are not part of payment and settlement system in India. Third thing is, the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, which is providing the deposit insurance facility, is not available with NBFCs. So, for example, any robbery happens in banks. So, banks have the responsibility that what all money the people have deposited in the bank, banks have to give that money, whether they have or not. But this obligation is not with NBFCs. If the money is gone, it is gone. Now see, just now we discussed that NBFCs are not taking the demand deposits, but NBFCs can take some kind of deposits, and those kind of NBFCs are known as deposit taking NBFCs. So here those NBFCs can have specific deposit acceptance certificate, and those NBFCs can take the long term deposits. So if I say that NBFC, no NBFC can take the deposit, the statement will be wrong. But mostly NBFCs cannot take demand deposits. Even if they are taking, they will be taking the term or fixed deposits. Now, yes, this was the layer I was talking about. So this layer is made for the overall regulations of NBFCs. So here at the base layer, we have base layer NBFCs. The asset size of these NBFCs is very low, and regulations of RBI is also very low. Then coming to the middle layer of NBFCs, so asset size means, for example, NBFC, just now we discussed, NBFCs are giving loans, advancements, they are making investments. So if we combine all these things, loans, advancement, investments, and other things, so this combined asset value, if it is very low, it will be base layer NBFC. If it is a bit high, it will be middle layer. If it is at the highest level, it will be the upper layer NBFC. So basically, these are three layers. This topmost layer consists of those NBFCs which are undergoing very risky businesses. So this is not a good thing if you are. Oh, just a second. Yes. So this is not a good thing if any NBFC is included in the top layer NBFC. Because if you are in the top layer NBFC, then your business is under very risky conditions, and the regulations of RBI will be very strict. Understood? So this is the basic meaning of the layers of NBFCs in India. Now let's discuss what RBI has recently changed. So see, here when RBI is making these layers of regulations in NBFCs, so earlier RBI used to consider different kind of factors, that what is the size of that NBFC, what is the level of interconnectedness of NBFCs, etc., etc. But now RBI has made a very simple rule that any NBFC can be classified as upper layer NBFC if it has qualifying assets of 1 lakh crore or more. So here, see, the article discusses about the Tata Sons, right? So this article is with reference to Tata Sons. So here, for many days, this thing was under discussion, that whether Tata Sons can come under upper layer NBFC or not. So if it is coming under upper layer NBFC, then what it has to do in upper layer NBFC, the regulations of RBI will be very tight. This is the thing with this upper layer NBFC. So now RBI has said that any NBFC can come under this upper layer if the qualifying assets is 1 lakh crore or more than that. So this is important thing about Tata Sons. Yes. Now, next important thing is that I'll see. This is a rule in India that if any NBFC is coming under the upper layer NBFC, then that NBFC has to release an IPO. IPO, that means initial public offering. So at present, Tata Sons is not a public company, or it is not a public limited company. So if you want to become public company or public limited company, you have to get registered in the stock market. And how you get registered in the stock market? You will release IPO, that is initial public offering. So now RBI has to decide that whether Tata Sons will be included, have to release the IPO or not, and it will be decided based on whether Tata Sons is included under upper layer NBFC or not. Because see, if any company has to release the IPO, there are some good things also, some bad things also. Because if you are releasing IPO, that means you are taking the money of public, right? So public scrutiny will increase. The regulations of RBI will increase. So that's why this thing was under lot of discussion, that whether this thing can happen or not. Now, if we talk about Tata Sons, so let's have the basic idea of this also. So basically, Tata Sons is a holding company of Tata. Holding company of Tata means, see, Tata have different kind of categories. Like for example, Tata Motors, or Tata Steel, or TCS, that is Tata Consultancy Services, or Titan. These are different companies under Tata. So if we talk about Tata Sons, so Tata Sons is the holding company of Tata. Holding company means a company which is having some shares of this company, some shares of this company, some shares of this company. So this is the meaning of holding company. So now RBI has to decide that whether Tata Sons have the assets of more than 1 lakh crore, and whether it has to release the IPO or not. So these are the basic things which were discussed in the news. Okay, now quick practice questions for you. First thing is, Supreme Court Collegium consists of, very easy question. First is Chief Justice of India only. Second is Chief Justice of India and 2 senior most judges. Next is Chief Justice of India and 4 senior most judges. And finally, Chief Justice of India, Law Minister and 4 judges. So I think we have discussed this topic in detail. So try to give answer in the comment section. Next thing is, next question, consider the following statements regarding Rajoli Banda diversion scheme. First is, it is an interstate irrigation project. Second is, it is built across Tungabhadra river. Third is, it benefits Karnataka, Telangana as well as Andhra Pradesh. So try to give answer of this question also in the comment section. So that's all from my side for today.